Everyone, and today I'll be hosting a spring break Q&A. And if it's your first time joining in on a Q&A, this is just where you guys ask me questions and I respond to your answers. On top of that, if this is your first time on this channel, hi, my name is Olivia and I'm the owner of this channel. So let's get on to our spring break Q&A. Over on the side, I do have some little questions that you guys have asked me. But before we even get into the Q&A, let's just talk about the spring break adventures, because for me, this is technically my last day of spring break before I have to head back to my campus. On top of that, if you're new to this channel, I am in my third year of undergraduate studies, where I'm studying psychology, humanities, while minoring in chemistry. All right, so let's see. So over the spring break, mine was 7 days, and I left my campus a week ago from today. Yeah, on Friday, because today is currently Friday, March 14th, 2025. And with that being said, my school's in Tallahassee, Florida, and I just went more south of Florida to what I thought was enjoying some nice Florida heat, but it turned out to be quite chilly in South Florida, around the Tampa area. Well, not Tampa. I'm currently in the Bradenton area of Florida, so an hour south of Tampa. And it was actually more chilly here than it was in Tallahassee, which I find it interesting. And that has mainly to do with the wind making it feel extremely colder, because I'm pretty sure every day it was in the 70s, but due to like strong winds, it felt like it was in the 60s, which in Florida that's cold for Florida, for being honest. It's like 40 degrees in the Midwest of the United States is what I would compare it to. But with that being said, I just enjoyed the outside over here. I got to sleep in, where during the school semester I don't really get to do that, especially when the times my classes start. There really isn't time for sleeping in. Alright, let's see. Oh, and something fun is that we went down to St. Amarn's, like the circle by Lido Beach, which is like in where? Sarasota, Florida. And we ended up, my brother and I, we ended up getting, what is it? Gelato 4 days in a row. So I tried various flavors, and we might even go there today for my last time. We also have some people in the live chat. Someone named Jack says, hi Olivia. Hi there. Thanks for joining the live stream. Like I said, this is a Q&A, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask them right now and I could answer them live. Of course, if it's something that is not appropriate, then I will not be answering it. Our first question in the live chat from Jack is, how are you? So I'm currently doing great. A little sad that my spring break is coming to an end, because today marks the last day of spring break for me, because tomorrow I'll be traveling back north to the north part of Florida to get ready for my last few weeks of this spring semester of 2025. Yeah. All right. So some traveling tips for anyone who's traveling for spring break. Of course, it honestly depends where you're traveling. Before I get on to the traveling trips, someone in the live chat said, safe travels back. Thank you. I will be traveling with the Holy Spirit. So a traveling tip is definitely, if you're leaving before classes and say you're driving back, you're driving wherever you're going to your destination, be sure to select a time where there won't be a lot of traffic throughout the whole time. Of course, if you're traveling somewhere over 2 hours, you might hit some traffic. You might come upon some traffic, which just happens when you're traveling, especially over 2 hours. Because I feel like over 2 hours, that's when it's just not really predictable of how the flow of traffic will be, depending on the amount of vehicles on the road. And someone's asked the question, do you like to travel solo? I don't travel solo often personally. It depends on the location, I would say, and if I'm meeting up people at the destination. There's a lot of dependent factors that for me decipher if I like to travel solo. And what does that actually mean? Is it just the journey, like just the traveling part, or is it I'll be at the destination solo, you know? So I can't really answer that question just because there's so many dependent factors that would change, honestly, my answer with that. But that's also a good question you have there. So yeah, that's one tip I will have is just leaving at a time where you won't spend, how should I word this? Leaving at a time where there won't be a lot of traffic throughout the whole drive. And then for flying, just selecting a time that doesn't feel overwhelming to leave at, especially if you're leaving after classes. You want to have a flight that is not right after your classes, just in case like you have to stay back and ask a professor a question or something. You're not stressed about getting to your flight on time and all that jazz. And then also if you have to make a connection, having your first flight early enough to where your connection, you have a little bit of a break, even if it's an hour. Well, it honestly depends. I would say give yourself 90 minutes before your next flight, because 30 minutes before your flight is boarding, and so that gives you an hour from landing, not from your gate, but landing from your first flight to get to the gate of your second flight. There was another question asking in the live chat which types of gadgets you carry while traveling, and I mean necessary stuff. So necessary stuff, it depends if you're going to a destination where you know others will be there. For example, if I were to travel home, I know a lot of my belongings are still there, so I don't have to pack a lot of clothing per se, depending on the weather. And oh, my apologies, the question was gadgets. I don't pack a lot of gadgets, if I'm being honest. I just pack my filming equipment that I need, and then just clothing I would need for that time. And if I know there would be a washer and a dryer there, then I pack even less clothing and just choose items that I could wear. So like a top that I could wear with any of the bottoms that I'm bringing, whether that be pants or shorts, and then any pants or shorts that will go with any of the tops that I'm bringing with me on my trip for the time. And then just washing them when necessary. I'm trying to think of gadgets, but like I said, I only bring the necessary things. So, and I've been traveling a lot, like, especially while being in college and university, traveling back for like spring break, winter break, and Thanksgiving break. Especially when I lived on campus where you can't really stay in the dorms, or if you do, you have to like fill out a form, I think. I don't know, I never stayed in the dorms during the breaks. I always traveled back. And I only, like, the necessary stuff is just basically the clothes you need and, like, your toothbrush, toothpaste, a hairbrush, deodorant if necessary, and maybe some lotions, and that's, like,